Hello, welcome back to Amber's Tarot. Today I'm going to be doing a horoscope reading for July for Sagittarians. I'll be using my usual three decks, the Messenger Oracle deck, Art of Tarot deck and Dreams of Gaia deck. So the first card I shall draw will be the Messenger Oracle card. The Messenger Oracle card is an overall message for the month for Sagittarians, just to bear in mind. First thing I should do is cleanse the cards with white sage. Okay. The messenger card drawn is Heed the Messengers. Now this is a bit of validation because yesterday I tried to do this reading and everything that could possibly go wrong was going wrong, and I finally managed to get everything done and sorted so I could actually start the reading, and I only got as far as drawing the Messenger Oracle card before I was interrupted by somebody calling at the door. And the Messenger Oracle card I drew yesterday was this exact card, Heed the Messengers. So the Heed the Messengers card was is all about heeding the messages that you receive throughout your life. And these can come through other people. They can also come through music, through TV, through newspapers, any kind of sign to give you a message. Quite often this will happen when you might be thinking about a certain topic, or thinking, should I do this, should I do that, and you'll start getting signs and messages relating, giving you personal indications as to which avenue to, or which choice to choose. So sometimes if you ask a question and then you put on a random radio show, the next song on will give you the answer to your question. If you are thinking, should I buy this object or that object, and suddenly you go online, you start seeing things relating to that object everywhere, you can assume that that's a message saying, yes, buy the object. And often in conversation, you'll be thinking about something and then you'll overhear a conversation and it will again give you a message. So these are all signs from the universe, from God or source, your higher self, whatever label you want to apply, helping you, giving you signposts and directions through your life. So this message is a reminder that particularly in July, heed the messages. The next card I shall draw will be the cards will be the Art of Tarot cards. Okay, so that's the 4 Art of Tarot cards drawn. And I'll just draw now the Dreams of Gaia cards. One more. Okay. Actually, 2 more. Okay. This sometimes happens where we get an extra card being drawn, and the meaning of that will be made clear during the reading. Sometimes 2 cards are normally pair 1 of 1 of each deck, but sometimes you'll get 2 paired with 1. So the first Art of Tarot card drawn is the 4 of Cups, and that is aligned to the 8 of Earth. Okay, so the 8 of Earth is a very good card. It signifies a time of abundance. This could mean wealth in terms of financial, or it could mean wealth as in any kind of wealth in your life, emotional wealth, psychological wealth, happiness in general. It is the manifestation of a positive attitude. You're doing what you love, and you love doing it. It's a time in your life where the seeds that you have sown are fruiting. They are growing. You are manifesting, you are well on the way to manifesting the future that you desire at this time in one or more aspects of your life. This could be a good time to take the next steps in that manifestation. So to start thinking about what are the next steps forward for you. You must maintain the attitude and the confidence that whatever you desire to achieve is possible for you, that you are capable of getting there. That is very important. And it's a time to celebrate your success, to look back at your life and celebrate and feel proud of your own achievements, to concentrate on what you have achieved so far despite all impediments and obstacles. This could not only be in a materialistic sense, but also in an emotional sense. If you've been working a lot on your shadow self, on your past, on your emotional traumas, then celebrate this. Be grateful and appreciative and proud of how far you have come, despite everything and all the impediments that have tried to stop you. Now, this has been paired with the Four of Cups. The Four of Cups okay, there is a slight marring of this rosy picture that this is that the Eight of Earth is presenting, and that is it doesn't indicate that this is a large problem at the moment, but there is a seed, a small amount of dissatisfaction within you. Now, this could be within a relationship with somebody else. It could also be in a relationship with yourself. There is this seed there, this seed that is it's the little bit of grit that is rubbing against you. You are dissatisfied with either an aspect of yourself. Perhaps you feel that you should be further ahead in your path, you should have achieved more. Perhaps there is a relationship in your life that there's things that are just irritating you at the moment. The advice of the Four of Cards matches what is saying by the Eight of Earth, in that you must appreciate what you have achieved and how far you've come. You must, at this time, do not allow that seed of dissatisfaction, that little seed, to start growing into a big weed. Because quite often that happens and we don't notice it, and then it starts to infect all aspects of our life, and suddenly this small thing becomes a large sense of dissatisfaction. It gets blown out of proportion because we're focusing on that rather than all of the positive things and celebrating and being proud of ourselves. You could think of it like this, that after everybody has some sense of dissatisfaction with their physical body in some way. You could think, you know, my belly's too big, I don't like this about me, I don't like the shape of this. And the problem is that when we focus on that, that's all we see. We can look at photographs of us and that's all we will see, whereas everybody else will see the whole picture. And this can grow over time into a sense of complete dislike for your own physical form, and the other people in your life may say to you, well, that's ridiculous, you've got beautiful eyes, you've got beautiful hair, you've got beautiful this and that, but you can't see that because all you're focusing on is that what to you is an imperfection, and it's a perceived imperfection, it's not an actual imperfection. And this can destroy your happiness in yourself, your ability to love and appreciate yourself. It's very important to nip these thoughts in the bud. And for Sagittarians, at the beginning of July, the advice is to find that small weed at the moment of dissatisfaction and nip it in the bud. Do not let it grow. because it will ruin things for you in this aspect of your life. It will become an issue later, and it's much harder to deal with when it becomes a major issue than it is to nip it in the bud at the beginning. Now the second, because I don't know where the extra card is yet, which week it is applying to, I'm going to look at the Dreams of Gaia first. The second Dreams of Gaia is the King of Fire. And the second Art of Tarot is the reversed Page of Pentacles. I think these two cards are married together. Okay, so the Page of Pentacles indicates that there's somebody in your life who's a bit of a money drain. There's somebody who is overspending, who is not as responsible as they could be with the resources, and those resources are your resources. Now, this might possibly not be money. It could be other resources. It could be they're just wasteful. They're impetuous, and it mentions that their habits border on roguishness. It could also mean a project that is languishing, that is not getting off the ground due to pedantic and restrictive attitudes. Now, the King of Fire symbolizes that the importance of understanding that somebody who is in a leadership position or an authoritarian position, so if this relates to a project or a plan of something you want to achieve, that it's your plan, this would be you. The importance of understanding that you are part of a team. Whether you're working on a creative project on your own, you're still part of a team, because you can only do that with the support of your family, with the support of your friends. That means it's a team. And the King of Fire is recommending that you remember that there are other people involved who can support you, who can take some of the weight off your shoulders so you can concentrate on what you need to concentrate on at this time. Perhaps at this time a bit of self-reflection is required to understand whether the Page of Pentacles could be applying to yourself at this time as well. Are you being wasteful with resources, whether that's time, whether it's energy, whether it's focus, whether it's money? If you are trying to achieve something and that requires the support and consideration of others around you, and yet whatever it is you're trying to achieve is happening more slowly than you would like, look at how you are behaving. Could you be doing this in a more logical manner? Is it your attitudes? There's something in you that is putting a block there and preventing you from being able to progress as fast as you would like. This could be an emotional block. It could be that you're not focusing your time correctly. All of this would apply to wasting resources. Whatever the case may be, if you were trying to achieve something and you would desire to be further along that path at this time, You need to look at who involved in that project, whether it's part of your supportive team, it's part of the creative team, or it's yourself, is preventing this by wasting resources in some way. And when you have identified who that is, you need to determine why. Is it simply their attitude? Is it simply that they have doubts? Is there a problem with their time management? There's an issue there that needs to be resolved. The next Dreamer Gaia Tarot is another fire card, and it's the Six of Fire. And the next Art of Tarot card is the reversed Nine of Swords. Okay, so this would apply to around about the 3rd week in July. This indicates that there is a situation that is coming to a head or brewing at this time, and this is going to result in you feeling as if you can't see a way out of this situation, as if things are so bad you don't see a way forward. There is a conflict or dispute involved here. Now, this could I suspect that this is relating to the individual talked about in the cards for the previous week. This almost roguish character who is wasting resources that belong to you. They are an impediment along the path that you are on, and they are an impediment to your manifestation of the future that you want at this time. Now, in the 3rd week, this has evolved into you've identified who this is, and there is a conflict or dispute. You're trying to resolve it, but you can't seem to find a way to do that. The other party is not playing ball. They're not. They're being very difficult. The Nine of Swords suggests that you don't allow these feelings of despair in a way at this time to overwhelm you, because this will be resolved. There is a way out. There is a way forward, and you can still achieve what you dream to achieve. But if you allow these feelings to overwhelm you, it's going to be much more difficult to do that, because you are not going to be able to be thinking as clearly as you need to at this time. The Six of Fire is advising that in this situation, you need outside help here. You need a third party to intervene. This is unlikely to be resolved between just you and the other party. There is a lot of emotion involved, and when emotions are high and one or the other of the involved parties, it blocks us using our left brain, our logical brain, our rational brain. So there needs to be somebody else brought into this situation, somebody who is more neutral, who can arbitrate between you or mediate between you. Remember the first week of the month when it was talking about there are other people involved here who form a part of a team. And they are your support people. They are the people who are there to support you emotionally, physically, and psychologically. Look to that group of people. Who would you say is has the capacity to be neutral enough to be able to arbitrate or mediate in this. If you cannot find somebody like that, then it may mean that you're going to need professional assistance in a legal or a capacity or a mediation capacity in order to assist you in this matter. The Six of Fire reminds you to remember that it is unlikely in any dispute that there is one right party and one wrong party. There is almost always right and wrong on both sides. And to bear that in mind and remember it. It also reminds you to keep your emotions under control. And be sure you know your facts and have your facts correct. It reminds you that your behaviour and your attitude will have a significant impact on the outcome. So it's very important that you be considerate and respectful at all times, regardless of the behaviour of the other party or parties involved. Okay. The next Dreams of Gaia card that was drawn was the Love Reversed card. Which is this one. And the next Art of Tarot was the Queen of Swords. And then the last Dreams of Gaia was the Ten of Water reversed. So we'll just see what that one means and then see where these three marry together. Okay, so the Love Reverse card indicates that there is an end to a relationship, or it is time to put to bed a relationship. It could also indicate it is time to let go of things from the past which are still emotionally in your life, whether that be related to, most likely related to past relationships. So it doesn't necessarily mean an end to a current relationship, but it means an end to an emotional attachment to a relationship of some kind. Quite often, old relationships can, when they end, we can be left with thoughts that present to us as a negative voice in our head. Regrets and shame and guilt about how we may have behaved, what we may have said, what was said to us, the hurtful things that happen and are said to each other, and when relationships ends, those words can form needles that can continue to sting you for years to come. The Love Reverse card indicates that, in fact, it's a situation you're in, that now is the time you need to let that go. You need to work and put to bed what has happened in the past, and don't bring it with you into the future. The Queen of Swords represents an individual, a gifted woman, somebody who is intelligent, gifted and protective of those around her, somebody who is quick to praise and challenge, has an amazing wit, is very graceful and inventive. This individual is a firm ally of yours. Now, if you can recognize yourself in those words, then you need to embody those characteristics, bring them out of yourself at this time to assist you in working on letting go of that needle, of pulling that needle out and throwing it away, so it's no longer a constant irritation and impediment to you manifesting the kind of life that you want. If you don't recognize yourself in those words, but there is somebody else you know in your life, then it's indicating that that is potentially somebody who can really help you emotionally at this time to achieve this challenge. It is important to focus on the positives at this time. Focus and put your energy where it is going to be helpful to you. Focus on the positive things you have achieved. Despite everything that's gone on in your life, look at who you are now. Look at what you've achieved emotionally, physically and spiritually. You have achieved an amazing amount despite so many obstacles, and that is where you need to focus your energy and your love and your attention to. The cards are telling you that at this time you are focusing too much or putting too much of your focus and concentration and energy on what you perceive to be negatives about yourself. And that is very important that you stop doing that. The Ten of Water is the same message. By consciously embracing a positive mindset and focusing on living a joyful life in the moment, on this day and each day that follows, you can influence everything around you in the same positive manner. It cautions about disruptive influences or beliefs that are threatening your peace and calm at this time. Be careful that you are not giving life and power to shadows by focusing your time, energy, and emotions upon them. Okay, so if this is pertaining to a relationship that is physically ending at this time, then this would be just after that will be the ideal time to do some cleansing work, to stop focusing on the negative, so that in years to come it's not going to be baggage that you're going to carry around with you and take into future relationships or future projects, or it's going to affect your future for years, if not decades to come. If this is pertaining to an older relationship, that the emotions or something at this time in your life is bringing up again, is stirring the pot, your emotional pot, and it's bringing up to the surface remnants, emotional remnants that you are still retaining from what you've gone through before, then this is the time, now they're at the surface, for you to scoop them up and throw them away. There are many ways you can do this. Look for this person in your life who represents the Queen of Swords, the person who is a protector. She is a gifted, intelligent woman who can help you emotionally to stabilize you and support you through this time. She is a member of your team. She also could be somebody, a part of yourself that you can bring to the fore at this time. But if you meditate, then meditation is an excellent way to do this. One of the methods you could use is if you visualize these emotions. Let's say, for example, there is something you did a long time ago, or something somebody said to you that hurt you, that you visualize it as a picture. And one of the techniques you can do is to visualize drawing I visualize it as being the hose of a Hoover, a vacuum cleaner. You visualize it coming up from the center of the planet, from the cleansing fire and energy at the center of the planet, which is Gaia. And you draw this hose up, and then you attach it to one of your chakras, or just have it near you, and visualize that picture being sucked down that hose, down into the center of the planet, where it is cleansed into positive, beautiful energy and then disseminated through the planet. But it's no longer with you. You are visualizing letting that go. There are other techniques online like faster EFT, many things you can do which can help you to deal with these emotions. But whatever technique you use, whatever works for you, at the end of July is a time when there are going to be emotions and thoughts that need to be dealt with. They're negative, they're disruptive, and they are going to have an irritating connotation to you that is going to constantly irritate you emotionally and affect you in the future, unless you can deal with them at this time. Now that they are uppermost and they're so obvious, that's the best time to deal with them. Okay, so I hope that is helpful to you and that you've enjoyed the reading. If you have, please like the video and don't forget to share and subscribe, and I will see you again at the end of July for August reading. Have a wonderful month, and remember, be proud of yourself because you deserve it.